Hey there, fourth graders. This is Mr. C, and today I want to show you how to write a fraction of a set, or a fraction of a set of items. And to do this, we're going to be using what we've learned in the first 6 or 7 days of our fraction unit, and that's learning what the denominator represents and what the numerator represents. So we have started out with just naming fractions, right? If I split one whole into two pieces and I shade one piece in, a fraction that would represent this would be 1 over, or 1 half, right? I have a 2 in the denominator because that's showing how many total pieces there are. Today we're going to be looking at the total amount of items, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. The 1 in the numerator represents how many pieces are shaded in. I want to know, I'm focusing on how many pieces are shaded in. Now I could also have my focus item be how many pieces are not shaded in, and in that case it would still be 1 half. But typically we look at the amount that are shaded in, what the fraction, how much of the pizza or the pie or the whole is being accounted for. So instead of using pictures, we are going to be using real life items that you find around your house. You're going to be going on a scavenger hunt today as your math assignment to build fractions of a set, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I had some cubes laying around the house, and I grabbed a handful of them, and I wanted to just pick 2 colors. Okay, and I chose green and yellow cubes because I love the Oregon Ducks, and they're my college, and their colors are green and yellow. So a little shout out to the University of Oregon here. Now, the total amount of items that I have here, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Notice that I counted both the green and the yellow cubes because that is my total amount of items. So here, I'm going to have 10 in my denominator. Now, before I can decide what my numerator is, I want to decide what am I going to be focusing on. And for this, I want to focus on yellow cubes. I could have picked green. I just chose to do yellow here. So I'm just going to count the amount of cubes that are yellow. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 yellow cubes. Or I could say that 4/10 of my cubes are yellow. Okay? Again, I started by counting the total amount of items, and that was my denominator. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got to pick what I wanted my focus item to be. When you go on your scavenger hunt, you are going to be recording what you're focusing on. I chose yellow cubes, and so I just counted my 4 yellow cubes. I want to show you a couple other examples of what you can pick today as you go around the house, and I encourage you to be creative. So I went to my pantry and I pulled out a couple of pieces of fruit. Okay, so we're no longer talking about cubes here, we're talking about fruit. I know that my denominator is my total amount of items. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For this, I'm going to have my focus item be apples. I prefer apples over oranges. And so I'm just going to count the amount of apples. 1, 2. I could say 2/5 of my fruit options are apples. That's another idea of what you could pick. Okay? Put those off to the side. I was unloading the dishwasher and I pulled out some utensils here, and I have spoons and knives. So again, I'm no longer going to be referencing apples. I might choose to represent or focus on knives. I start off by counting the total amount of items. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 items, 6 total items. How many of them are knives? I'm not looking at my spoons. I'm just going to count 1, 2. 2/6 of the silverware that I took out of the dishwasher were knives. And last but not least, this one may take up a lot of space. I was looking around my house and I found some dog toys. Okay? I checked with my dog. He said it was okay if I used them. So instead of focusing on the silverware, I might decide or focus on how many of these toys are what we call rope toys, right? When I think of like a rope toy, something like this, opposed to a tennis ball or a squeaky toy. So I start off by counting the total amount of items. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. And I can separate them into rope toys and non-rope toys. So here's a rope toy, non-rope toy. Rope toy, not a rope toy, not a rope toy, rope toy. So I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total toys. How many of them are rope toys? 1, 2, 3. I could say that 3/6 of my toys, of my dog's toys, are rope toys. Or I could say that half of them, I have 3 toys that are rope toys and 3 that are non-rope toys. So I could say that an equivalent fraction would be half of the toys are rope toys. So 4th grade, today, have fun with it. I want you to try to find as many fraction sets as you can in your house. You can look outside. You can look in your backyard. You can compare leaves. You can compare shoes. You can look at a deck of cards. You could pick a hobby of yours. Be creative with it. Your job today and your assignment will, there'll be more instructions posted on the lesson plan document, but you are in charge of going out there and finding fractions in the real world. They are everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. I just squeaked this toy, so my dog's going to be a little excited, so I'm going to go play with him. I hope you have fun, and have a good one, guys. Good luck. You're doing awesome. We appreciate your hard work, and spring break is around the corner. You got this.